This is Ruthie, and today we'll be taking a glance at some modernist art in America. Okay, before we get into it, this is your sign. I'm encouraging you to, unless you're not going out of town for school, but if you are like me, um, go and take advantage of the Dallas Museum of Art while we are still living so close to it. I mean, like it's crazy that we have like just some really crazy, cool, famous, but also just really gorgeous pieces in our neighborhood, basically. So definitely take advantage of that while we're still here. Okay, let's dive in. This art period lies in the early 1900s, which of course is known for this industrialization, this boom of America, and also the railroads popping up everywhere. This was a very chaotic time for the everyday factory worker, let alone an artist who was doing both jobs at the same time. Because, of course, artists never make the most money, unfortunately. But yeah, today we're only have time to look into three themes, so let's jump right into them. Okay, first up we have industrial landscape art. This is by Mr. Joseph Stella, and it is entitled "The Voice of the City of New York Interpreted: The Port, which includes the harbor and the battery." Yeah, so this is a great example of some industrial art from this period. Okay, well, first off, it takes place in Battery Park in New York. If you've ever visited, you probably have gone there on like a touristy stop. It is in even today, a very still industrial area of Manhattan. Which of course, the word industrial today means something completely different than it did then, but still a very industrial, a very booming area of Manhattan. And there's a lot of really cool hidden details, like you can see some telephone poles, you can see a water tower, you can see a little subway in the distance passing by. Of course, the boats, as it is entitled The Port. So you have to imagine the imports and the exports in the area coming out and going in. And just this chaotic city. It's very sleek. It's very hard-edged. It looks almost glamorous to me, and like a Gatsby. I always think of art like this, like it looks like Gatsby type stuff. But it also is very anonymous. Of course, it's entitled The Voice, which it's singular, but it could mean a lot of things. And so you don't look at it and see just one perspective. It's really cool like that. So yeah, it's a great example of how even the residents of New York were feeling at this time. Okay, next up we have a very, very, very non-debated abstract art. There's a lot of abstract arts that we'll never know the meaning of. This one, fortunately, we do. This is by Stuart Davis, and it is entitled Ready to Wear. I never pieced it together that we in America invented this ready-to-wear clothing industry. Like, there's no telling, like, how much it's worth. I'm sure there is a number, but it's like, it's gotta be ginormous. We invented it here. I didn't even know that. Like, you couldn't go to Walmart and buy a $5 t-shirt. Like, that just wasn't a thing. And so this piece, it's very chaotic still. It very much has that, like, confused, what's going on, not organized vibe. It is still with the different shapes. It's very energetic, and it's not necessarily like dark in like a sad way, if that makes any sense. Of course, it's wrapping the red, white, and blue because we invented it. And the pieces to me look like leftovers. Like, it doesn't look like an organized system that's taking advantage of every piece, you know, not wasting any. Like, it looks like it's already been used, and now we're gonna have to make a shirt out of it, and it's not gonna look good. So, yeah, this is a great tiny glimpse into it. And lastly, we have some really gorgeous desert art. This is by the one and only Georgia O'Keeffe, and it is entitled Purple Hills Ghost Ranch 2, or Purple Hills number 2. Now, this is just, right off the bat, so different than the others. It's, like, gorgeous to the eye. The others are gorgeous in the sense of, like, this is famous, like, you can tell it's great art. This is just, like, wow, like, that's beautiful. So she painted this lovely piece. It has a very Picasso-y Cuban vibe, for a great reason. So at the time, there was a society of artists living in New Mexico, painting these cool desert scapes. And so Miss O'Keeffe and one of her, painting colleague friends, whatever you want to call it, they went out and traveled, they were all buddies, they were all in the same circle, and they did some of this work, and Miss O'Keeffe loved the area and loved the art that she was able to create there, that she actually picked up and moved all of her stuff, and began to paint pieces like this, just out in her backyard. Just so cool. Um, I I don't know. When I think of the 1900s and modernist art, this isn't where my first thought comes to, and it's really cool that there's some really great contrast in there. This is another one of Mr. Stella's, again, that chaotic vibe. He was really into, and it does encapsulate America at that time. But thank you all so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that this inspired you, perhaps, to go look at some cool art. But thank you, and have a good rest of y'all's day.